And so we had an opportunity to say hi and thank you to all the moms that are here. But what I wanted to do is just wanted to take a moment of silence and light the candle, just so that those of you who have lost your mother, who's no longer here, we can send our love and our energy to them as well. God made a mother. At the dawn of time, God needed someone he could trust to love his precious children. And so God made a mother. God said, life will often be harsh. I need someone with a gentle touch, someone who can brush a tear from a downy cheek of a newborn and gauge a child's temperature without the aid of a thermometer. I need someone who has a special knack for soothing, who can kiss away pain and soften blows, someone who will hold her child's hand firmly until she has to release it tearfully on the first day of school. And so God made a mother. I need someone who will care enough to gather daffodils and put them in a vase so everyone in the house can enjoy the first blooms of spring. Someone who will care enough to rummage through the mismatched sock pile in hopes of finding a match. Someone who will make birthdays extra special. Sing silly songs with her toddlers in the car, who actually wants to go on school field trips to the insect museum just to be close to her child. God thought, I need someone who will play Christmas carols on the piano, someone who will decorate gingerbread houses with the kids and wrap gifts and deck the halls for Christmas, for nothing in all of my creation will be able to make Christmas as special as Mother will. And so God made a mother. I'll make someone who can gather a chaotic, busy family around a dinner table for chicken soup, cornbread, and sharing life together. Someone who will organize play dates, piano lessons, and the pantry. I need someone who can find the lost football cleat, daddy's keys, and Bun Bun, her little girl's favorite stuffed bunny. I need someone who can unload the dishwasher, pack lunches, call out spelling words, and make coffee while bouncing a baby on her lap. Someone who will carry an amazing array of toys, snacks, essentials in her heavy purse and never complain. I need someone to help with endless school projects, organize a football banquet, and say, I'm so proud of you, even when her child fails. It must be someone who is willing to keep going, even when she thinks she has no strength left. Someone who will strive to love her kids and love their father even more. I need someone who's willing to work a second shift or take second best or play second fiddle so her family will have it better than she did. And so God made a mother. I need someone who believes, someone who will trust that I have a good plan for her and for her children, even when she can't see it. Someone who will pray for her family daily, for sadly, few people will. I need someone who will share my words and encourage her children to believe in themselves and in something bigger that holds everyone together. That something is called love. God said, I'll place a second pair of eyes in the back of the mother's head, give her bionic ears, and grant her a generous portion of laughter and tears, for she will need them. Sometimes she'll feel like she doesn't have what it takes. There will be days when she is overcome with worry, pain, and failure. But when the need arises, she'll be there. And while motherhood will be difficult, she'll come to embrace it with all of her heart. Yes, this is exactly what I need. I need someone who will love my children like, well, kind of like what I do, God said. So I'll give each mother a heart the size of Texas, and if she'll let me, I'll fill it with my special, forever kind of love, a love that resembles my own. Once I put a precious baby in her arms, she will never be the same. One day her children will grow up and move on, but she never will. As long as she lives, she will fight for her children, pray for them, and sacrifice for them. And so, God made a mother. I love that. I love that because, in my opinion, that's what embodies a mom. My mom. That's what my mom did. And I just think it's so amazing. And looking at and thinking about our moms, there were several people that have made different comments on what their mothers meant to them in our own history. And Charles Fillmore once said, in the universal mind principle, which Jesus called the Father, there is a substance that also includes the mother or seed of all of creation. Emily Cady in Lessons in Truth said, God is love. We cannot see love nor grasp any comprehension of what love is, except as love is clothed with a form. All the love in the universe is God. The love between a husband and wife, between parents and children, is just the least little bit of God, as pushed forth through visible form into manifestation. A mother's love, so infinitely tender, so unfailing, is God's love, only manifested in a greater degree by the mother. I love that. And lastly, the quality of God that gives of itself, nurtures life, and holds everything together is pure love. Unconditional love. And the model we've been given for this way of loving and living is motherhood. The only thing that gives us a chance to love as God loves is the fact that the feminine is within us all. This is the magic of motherhood, of the divine mother. It's the get out of jail free card. The feminine liberates us from our prisons of feeling separate from one another, of living in fear and judgment. That's why we call it the divine feminine, divine motherhood. A mother's love so complete, so nourishing, it can only be God loving through us. That's from Evan Hodkins. When I think about this whole celebration of mother, for me, I keep coming back to this idea of being held. Because to me, that's what my mom did for me. She held me. I also think that she was there when I needed her, no matter what. I could call my mom. And it's not like she necessarily needed to do anything. She didn't need to do anything. She could just be present for me and hold me. And that's what I'll always remember. I think about her comfort and at times her wisdom. I think about her strength and her protection. I think about discipline when it was necessary. Yes, I have to be honest with you, I do know what Ivory soap tastes like. So for those of you that think and had heard about mom washing your mouth out with soap, that didn't happen, it happened to me. It did honestly happen. But as I honor my own mom, I think about the times that she was there for me. I'll never forget the time I was in my late teens, early 20s, and I was struggling. I was not having a good time. In my car, my old beat-up piece of crap car broke down. I was at 6 Mile and Southfield Road in Detroit. And for anybody that knows that area knows that's a busy intersection. Lots of people, lots of things going on. And I just remember the car just stopped right where it was, and I just looked up and I saw a phone. And I walked over there and I got on the phone. First, of course, I called my mom, and I told her what was going on, and she listened. And then I just finally said, does it ever get easier? Does it ever get easier? And of course she listened, and she said, Michael, just come home. Just come home. And ultimately, for me, my mom is what led me through these doors. So I was going to a very fundamental church, but I was struggling. And it was my mom who came home Wednesday night, and I said, where have you been? And she said, I'm going to this new place. It's called Unity. You should come check it out sometime. I was about 16 years old, and that changed my life forever. That was my mom. My mom showed me the door into my own awakening, my own journey. Up until then, it was a very traditional route, filled with a lot of blame, shame, and guilt, a lot of Bible verses. Yes, I used to be a Bible thumper. I was pretty good at it, too. But she's the one that said, hey, maybe there's another way of looking at this thing. And when she looked at me and said, Unity doesn't believe in hell, my jaw dropped from here down to the floor. was like, what? Are you kidding me? Seriously? How could that be possible? That's not what I've been taught or told. And so my mom really was the person that introduced me to New Thought in this new way. And I will forever, ever, ever be grateful for her. And I thought what would be really fun is to have one or two other people come up and just share some thoughts about their mom and what their mom meant to them. And so, Susan, if you could come up and share a few thoughts with us.
Can I speak after this wonderful little video that we saw? Maybe. Okay, first of all, I want to introduce you to my mother. Her name was Allura Viona Frost McPherson. She grew up on a farm that was peaches and apples. Her mother was a country school teacher and a piano teacher. I love the piano. She graduated from Michigan State in 1927 and was in the first class to graduate with a degree in institutional food service management. After she graduated, she spent 5 years setting up Woolworths. Do you remember the Woolworths stores?
Yeah.
Well, she set up their lunch counters. And she was in New York, in Grand Rapids, in Kalamazoo, and Detroit, and Traverse City, and Battle Creek, setting up these lunch counters, and then go to the next one. She did that for 5 years, and then she married my father. She was 25, and with my father, they raised 8 children, which was a sizable group. From the time I was in elementary school, I knew I wanted to follow in my mother's footsteps, to go to Michigan State and get a degree in hotel, restaurant, institutional food service management. So I was following her. She was an inspiration to the 8 of us. She was intelligent, full of energy, and lots of love. She made us all feel as though we were the most special. Of course, I knew I was the most special, but there's a disagreement among my siblings because they all feel the same. Isn't it amazing that a parent can make all of her children feel special? At our monthly sibling meeting, which we have, we all get together on Zoom, and we continue to marvel at how lucky we were to have had Allura Frost McPherson as our mother.
Mike's comment about mothers sort of being a get-out-of-jail-free card reminded me of a story of my mother that it was very interesting, because when I was in my teens, started driving and dating, I had a curfew that I didn't always meet, but I really got amazingly good at excuses. And I would call, my mother would answer the phone, and I'd say, oh, I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. And it was always, oh, Billy, are you okay? Well, you take care of yourself now, and you get home as soon as you can. So I just felt like she believed everything I said, and she still loved me. And fast forward a few years, and I married my wife, Kay, and my mother and Kay had a very special relationship. They would tell each other secrets. And my mother one time was saying to my wife, let me tell you what Billy was really like as a kid. And she would say, when he was driving, he called home and he thought he was really good at excuses, but I knew what was going on. Because mean, that's just a typical mother. Mine was she was a Southern lady, and everything was okay. And she tried to make everything okay and make all the kids know that they were loved. But the interesting thing is, my wife must have loved me a lot, because I don't know all the other things that my mother told her, but I'm sure there was a lot of things that I wish she hadn't. But it just makes me finally remember my mother, because, like Susan, she made us all feel special. And we knew that she would worry about us if we had trouble. And I'm just so grateful for my mother.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Bill. When I think about mother, I think of my earthly mother, but then there's some other mothers I like to acknowledge as well. And the one that comes to mind for me is Mother Mary. I think of her often. I think that she was an amazing example. And I think about, and I didn't even know this, by the way, I just learned this morning, because when I thought about it, I was thinking about Let It Be, the song, When Mother Mary Comes to Me. What I didn't realize, and I don't know if you knew this, but Paul McCartney didn't write that about Mother Mary. He actually wrote about it, a vision that he had, a dream that he had, where his mom came to him. So that was like, didn't know that. But still, the words I think that are so beautiful in that song, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And I just think to myself, yeah, when I find myself in times of trouble, and to me that's where the mother kicks in, this idea of being there, holding that space for you, just allowing you to have your process. Yes, sometimes with a hug and a kiss on the forehead as well. And the song goes on, and in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me. She's always there, always. And for me personally, my mom, I know, is still here. Even though she's passed from this life, she is very, very much a presence for me. Very, very much so. And so I think of Mother Mary, and then, of course, when I think of other mothers, I've got to think of Myrtle. We're not here, folks, if it's not for Myrtle. And I cannot say that enough, because in my early journeys of Unity, I started looking at all the Unity books, and 90% of them were written by Charles. So what did I think? Well, he's the one that started it. No, he's not. I've told this story many, many times. But Myrtle's the one who started Unity, because she's the one that got tuberculosis. She's the one that found E.B. Weeks and went to that talk. She started using affirmations. She healed herself. And in the meantime, Charles is out there doing business. He's not a part of any of it at the beginning. And then finally, after a couple of years, and Charles goes, whoa, what is going on with her? Well, then he starts his own journey. And the rest is history. Myrtle started it. And then what's so fascinating about that story is that Myrtle then gravitates where? Towards the kids in the healing ministry. That's where Myrtle went. Charles went and started all the other stuff. Don't ever forget this. Myrtle started it. It started with Myrtle. And lastly, when I think of Mother, of course, I'm going to give a big shout out and a big hug to Mother Earth. Talk about somebody holding us. Talk about somebody putting up with our crap. Talking about letting somebody abuse her and still showing up. Sun's still shining, plants are still growing, earth is still doing what the earth is doing, and she's still there. I have a deep, 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 profound appreciation and love for Mother Earth. I talk to her all the time. Oh, come on, Mike, you don't really, yeah, I do. I do it in so many ways. I'll go put my feet on the earth and just stand there and feel her. I'm a tree hugger. That's right, the guy that you're looking at is a tree hugger. I do that. I love trees. I appreciate that. I think Mother Earth is amazing. I always feel a special connection and bond to her. I appreciate her so much. And I just think about when I think about Mother Earth comes to mind. And so I want to wrap this up because there's a lot of emotion. You know, I'm standing up here and I can feel it. And I want to try and lighten things up a little bit as we close our service today. And so there were some questions that were asked from elementary school kids about their mom. One of the questions, why did God make mothers? Because she's the only one who knows where the Scotch tape is. Why did God make mothers? To help us out of there when we're getting born. All right? How did God make mothers? One answer, magic plus superpowers and a lot of stirring. How did God make mothers? God made my mom just the same like he made me. He just used bigger parts. Why did God give you your mother and not some other mother? Answer, because we're related. The next answer, God knew she likes me a lot more than other people's moms like me. What kind of a little girl was your mom? Answer, my mom has always been my mom and none of that other stuff. Other answer, I don't know because I wasn't there, but my guess would be pretty bossy. Other answer, they say she used to be nice. What did mom need to know about dad before she married him? Answer, does he make at least $800 a year? Answer, did he say no to drugs and yes to chores? Why did your mom marry your dad? My dad makes the best spaghetti in the world, and my mom eats a lot. Other answer, she got too old to do anything else with him. Nice. What's the difference between moms and dads? Moms work at work and work at home, and dads just work at work. Brilliant. Another answer, moms have magic. They make you feel better without medicine. Love that one. What does your mom do in her spare time? Answer, moms don't have spare time. And the final question, if you could change one thing about your mom, what would it be? I would like for her to get rid of those invisible eyes in the back of her head. So, happy Mother's Day, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. God bless.